Nemo takes the idea of working smarter, not harder, to heart, whereas his brother Hemi takes after his dad, where they are always working very, very hard. He actually has the day off of actual work day, so you'll see him in the video. I've said it once, and I'll say it a million more times. He is seriously the best about helping me out at the barn, even when he has other things to do.
His eyes are glowing.
What? What? We have been very, very blessed with a full barn of fantastic boarders. Seriously, could not ask for a better group. I thoroughly enjoy everybody that comes out to see their horses and spends time with us and trusts us with their horses. We do have a spot opening up next month when Hickory goes home to his buyer. And that is something we're very selective about, people coming into the barn, because we want everybody to get along and everybody to be in the best situation for them and their horses. I got Foxy taken care of. If you watch my Instagram, you will know that he got a little bit of an eye ulcer last weekend and is just on some medication. Nothing major, and he is healing very, very nicely. Robbie's working on his project four-wheeler in the barn. I really love that we can spend time doing things together, but also doing our own interests. This is Winston's stall, and if you know, you know. He is my new favorite horse in the barn. I put a quick ride on Hickory, nothing major. He's been really, really excellent lately, and I just want to make sure all of his tools in his toolbox are fresh for his new mommy, and he's at a really good place to be sent off to her. Another thing you'll know if you keep up with my Instagram is that Diesel twisted a shoe this past weekend, the same day that Foxy got something in his eye, which was of course on a weekend, and of course that emergency vet bill was super, super fun. Loved that for us. But he twisted his shoe and stepped on it and got a nail right into the sole of his foot. And I won't include that video in my YouTube because Instagram did not like it when I posted that, and it had blood. I called it a blood volcano. It was gross. It was horrible. But thank goodness he is sound. I am just taking extra precautions to keep it clean and make sure we don't have a soundness issue. So I just cleaned it out really, really well. And I did have the vets pull his other shoe while they were out taking care of that, and they did x-rays and everything else to make sure that the interior of his foot was okay from that nail. And there's my precious mother. Love her so much. She is a doll. But I got that nice and cleaned out, and I've just been keeping it clean, packed, and comfortable for him while he heals, and then we take the next steps with his feet.
Why do you want to start that? What? Oh. Well, thanks for waiting. I appreciate that.
Before we get into the really fun unpackaging stuff, I did get this cute little package of jewelry from Etsy. I bought it from Cactus Lane Jewelry. I got that little ring, and I thought these earrings were super cute. They're like little screw earrings. They do have other options as well. They were having a sale, so I snagged some stuff. The customer service was awesome. Highly recommend it. I'm an Etsy addict. But moving on to what I've been really excited to share, and this company has been so fantastic to work with. I hate that I'm going to butcher their name. I really don't know how to pronounce it, but I think it's Kavallerie. I am so sorry. Please feel free to correct me on that. But they sent me bit guards and this fantastic saddle pad that I'm really excited to show you guys. I have loved it so far, and I think everybody should give it a shot. It's really cool technology. These are their bit guards. They're super, super squishy, and I don't know, if I was a horse, I'd want that on my face rather than something rigid. You can't even really see it very well in the video, just how squishy and flexible they are. I was trying to show you here, but they're like a gel type of material. They're really, there's more squishy action, but they were kind of stuck together, so I had to peel them apart a little bit. I don't normally use bit guards, so I'm going to figure out how to put those on and get familiar with those before trying them out. But this is the saddle pad. This is me unpackaging it and really, really struggling and having an embarrassing moment. It's just big and awkward. But anyways, first impressions were I really, really liked the gel and just the overall professional look. You can see, again, the squishy gel. I guess it's the same material as the bit guards. Just this material in general is really, really cool. It doesn't seem to get dirty very easily, very easy to clean, but also provides a lot of impact relief for the horses while remaining very thin. And that was a big thing that I really liked. It's not going to alter your saddle fit too much because it is so thin, but also very cushion providing for the horse's back. All of my Western pads are a neoprene underside. Well, most of them are, the ones that I prefer anyways. So I don't really see why you couldn't use this by itself without a all-purpose pad underneath. I just always use an all-purpose pad because they're easy to wash and easier to keep the more expensive tack clean. So I threw the all-purpose pad underneath and then this half pad and my saddle on top. And of course, always pull it up into the saddle instead of having that pressure on their withers. I really, really like how this fits the saddle. It's a little bit big in the back, but I'd rather have it a little bit big than too small. And here's a close-up of that saddle pad and the setup. As you can see, that gel is right where the most impact happens. So when you're posting in the back of the saddle, which I really, really like, it's not too excessive and it's right where you need it. It's also right on the withers as well. And there you can see how it's just a little bit too big in the back, but I honestly don't know if I even got the right size or how that all works, but it does not bother me in the slightest. And Winston seemed to really, really like it. But he really, really liked it. He stretched really well over his back, and I felt really connected to the saddle. Like, I felt really stable through my seat, which was fantastic. I really liked how it didn't feel like it was moving around too much. And because Winston was feeling so good, I ended up taking him back inside and letting him rest for a minute. And I just got the random urge to try Diesel's fake tail and just see what would happen. I know he has never been shown before, but I don't know if he's ever worn a fake tail. I'm sure he has, based off of how he responded to it. He was totally fine, spoiler alert. But if you're not familiar with fake tails, they are a thing in the show industry, primarily in the stock horse world, so like AQHA, APHA, but I know some hunters use them as well. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's a fake horsetail, and we just tie it in. It's not super heavy. It does not cause them any pain. They would tell us if it was causing them pain, I promise. But it just gets braided in underneath the tailbone or next to the tailbone. This one's a little bit long because it is Diesel's. He's so tall, so I had to tie it a little bit higher up than I normally would have. And it just adds a little bit more volume and kind of completes the overall show look. And then I had to take a little break and let Winston take a breather while I helped Robbie with some four-wheeler stuff. But as you can see, compared to the previous video, again, this is Diesel's tail, so it's a little bit too long for Winston, but that's okay. But it just completes the overall look, especially when they're all braided up in the show pen. They look super cute. I love it. And of course, there's different preferences, so it's not something that is required. It's just, again, comes down to your preference in the show pen. But our arena desperately needs to be drug and repaired, so there's a little bit of some inconsistency in Winston's balance. But otherwise, he tried really, really hard, understood the assignment, and just overall was super heckin' cute, and I love him for that. And like I just mentioned, our arena desperately needed to be redone. It had not gotten a full retouch since we put the sand down, and we've been dragging it regularly, but it just needs some maintenance every once in a while. And of course, Robbie's always down to play with equipment, so we spent some time trying to figure out the best way to redo that. And we ended up, this one corner gets really, really thick and heavy and deep, whatever you want to call it, so we just tried to drag that back a little bit. I had to help, which sucked. It was awful. My shoulders hurt. 10 out of 10 do not recommend. But he was fantastic, and his brain went to work and fixed it all up for us. Then it was time to feed again already. I don't know where the day goes. It just disappears. So me and my homies were just rolling back out to turnout. I like to feed them outside as often as I can. Played with the new four-wheeler. And finally, Robbie let me show him how great of a four-wheeler driver I am while he hung on for dear life on the back.